Hello, this is LordUg, yes, and welcome back to Skyrim and part 2 of my Blacksmith tutorial. Now, I'm not going to explain what happened in the first one, you'll have to go and watch it. I want to get straight to work here because I have a lot to do, plus a question to answer at the end, so I have to get started. Okay, so we are going to do armour and weapons in this episode. So we're going to come straight to the forge. We have our ores smelted into ingots, and here is where you make your armour and weapons. It's same as when you make jewellery. How you make jewellery here? Well, this is where you make the armour and weapons too. So these are the different materials I can use here to make what I want. Hide, I can make hide armours. They don't make hide weapons, it wouldn't work. A bendy sword doesn't kill anything. Iron, this one's a little bit longer because now you have weapons built come into this as well as armour. Although, if you look, you do have bonded iron armour as well as normal iron armour. And if you look at normal iron armour, it's 29 and 30, and it uses 3 leather strips and 5 iron ingots. Whereas if I go to bonded, it's 32 and 35, which is a little bit of a jump over normal iron armour, but now this uses a corundum ingot as well, which is what makes it bonded, and that makes it a bit better. I can do studded, which is just basically armour right now. Imperial, which is probably when the heavy armour starts to get a little bit better. This is your first real soldiery heavy armour, you could say. Then you've got steel, which is all heavy armour as well. It tells you here. Let me just show you. There you go. I know you've got 2 steel armours, but it's just for looks really. They are a little bit different, so it depends how you want to look. And then you've got your weapons and that you can do. And then I've got leather, which of course I've always carried on to leather round, so I can do all of them. Then you've got dwarven and elven. Now dwarven and elven are both kind of 2 sides of the same coin. One is heavy armour, that's the dwarven. The dwarven's all heavy armour, and the elven is light armour. The stats are similar. Of course, the heavy armour is got a better armour rating, as you'd expect, but elven is still pretty close, and that's the light armour equivalent, you could say. Okay, so where do we get to be able to craft certain things like elven and dwarven? Well, that comes with your perks, with your skill system. Look at my skill system tutorial to be shown how to use this. And I will go to smithing here, and this is where we can decide what we want to do. This branches off into 2 ways, basically. Now, the right path here goes heavy armour. Dwarven is heavy armour, Orcish is heavy armour, Ebony is heavy armour, Daedric is heavy armour, and then you get to Dragon. And over here we've got the light armours. See, Elven, I did say that was light. And then you've got advanced armours, which I'm going to cover in a minute. And then you've got glass armour there, which is also light. So let's go to the advanced armours. This says you can create scale and plate armour at forges. Well, I'm going to actually activate this because I want to show you what that does. Now, if I go back down to Earth, and I now do that, and I go to steel, what I want you to notice is you can now do scaled armour in steel, and down here you can do steel plate armour. So that's what that does. It opens up advanced heavy armours, just like you saw bonded with iron armour. It makes it a little bit different, but a little bit stronger. This is the same. So if you look at, say, steel plate armour compared to steel armour is 36 armour rating and 35 weight. Steel plate is 46 armour rating, so 10 more armour rating and only 3 more in weight. So you can see that for heavy armour, that's a lot better. So what about scaled? Well, scaled makes it so you can have a light steel armour. See, scaled is light armour, and it's slightly better base than elven, if I remember right. So it's worth going for. It's a pretty good armour to have for if you do light armour. Okay, so that's what basically that does, and then you can open up your normal ones like glass and ebony and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to quickly make 2 things now. I'm going to make a piece of armour, so we'll make an iron helmet, and I'm going to make a weapon, so I'm going to make an iron sword. So we've now got we've got a weapon and a piece of armour. Now what I'm going to do is, I've done this because I want to show you these two pieces of equipment here. One is a grindstone and one is a workbench. Now the grindstone upgrades your weapons. Now as far as I know, for right now I can only upgrade one level. I don't know if you can upgrade more later, but right now you can only upgrade one level. But the level of your up in the sky, with whatever level smithing you are, what you spend perks on and buy levels in, whatever level blacksmithing you're on does affect how well your upgrade is, how good it is. For instance, when I first did, let's say, an iron helmet, I did a fine iron helmet. When I upgraded it, when my blacksmithing was at a higher level later, it became a superior iron helmet. But the next level, after superior, is going to be exquisite, and exquisite will upgrade it even higher. Right now I can still only do superior, but when I can do like exquisite, that'll go up even higher. The damage, it might say, be 13, and that depends on your level of blacksmithing. As you keep building your blacksmithing up, getting higher and higher and higher levels, you will actually be able to upgrade to a better level. And so let's do that. I can press the letter R or click on the word craft, and now we've took it up to a superior iron sword. So it's a little bit stronger than a normal iron sword, and it's a little bit more valuable. And it's same if we go over to the workbench, same principle. You activate it, click on the iron helmet, it goes to superior, and as you can see it goes from 17 to 21, so it goes up 4 armour rating, and it turns its value up a little bit, and we press R, click yes, and we have a superior iron helmet. So that is what a workbench and a grindstone does. Now one more thing, remember you can then go up to the enchanter. You look at my enchanting guide if you're not sure how that works. You can go to the arcane enchanter and put some enchantment on it. Anyway, that is now about all I can show you for blacksmithing. So you now know how to forge everything, how to turn things into ingots, into leather strips, how to make jewellery, how to make weapons and armour and upgrade them. Now I'm going to quickly go on to a question I was asked, and that is, what armour should I wear? Which is the best? So this is just my opinion. I don't want to get into a big debate about it. Some people will agree with what I'm about to say. Some of you won't. And, all opinions are valid. But to me, it depends what you are going. If you are going heavy armour, should you go all the way to Dragon, which is level 100 blacksmith? My answer is yes. Simply because you can get to Ebony, but they are about, I think that's about 70 or 80. But that's like the third best. Now, Daedric armour is actually the best heavy armour in the game, because its base armour rating is actually higher than the base Dragon Plate armour rating. However, it's the cost of it. Like the Dragon Plate is actually more cost effective, simply because, for one, you need ebony ore, which is harder to find there than most of the other ores for Daedric armour, and also you need a Daedra heart. Now each Daedra heart, when you do start to buy, if you buy them, because they are quite rare actually to find in-game, so you might end up having to buy them. They're like nearly 1,000 gold for each heart, so they are expensive. Plus you've got to find plenty of ebony ore to turn into ingots. So, cost-effective wise, it costs a lot for Daedra armour. Whereas, for your Dragon armour, you just use Dragon parts. For Dragon Plate, which is the heavy armour equivalent of Dragon armour, you use Dragon Scale and Dragon Bone. Well, as you know, if you're playing this game, you walk around in the wilderness, a dragon drops down, you poke it in the eye, punch it on the snout, you take its bones, and it's done. Then you turn it into Dragon armour. So, to me, it's a lot more cost effective to push. To do Daedra armour, you need 90 blacksmith rating anyway. So you might as well just push that 10 extra levels, get it to 100, and then make yourself, even though it's slightly less overall armor rating than Daedra armor, it's a bit lighter as well. Dragon is. Dragon's a little bit lighter than Daedra, so you'll move a little bit better. You'll lose a tiny bit of armor rating, but it's a lot more cost effective and won't cost you anywhere near the amount of money. Okay, now for light armor users, my advice is stay at glass. Glass armor you can undo at level 70. Now the problem is, if you want to go to 100, you can use Dragon Scale, which is basically Dragon Scale and iron ingots to make. So it's very cost effective, but the problem is it's a big 30 level jump from level 70 to level 100 from when you do your blacksmith, and that means you've either got to use perks up or you've got to start going to an NPC and letting them teach you. Now I know I went and asked to do a level for blacksmithing earlier at an NPC, and he charged me over 1,000. So you imagine doing 30 levels, both mixing using perks up and actually spending money. It's a lot of money to get from glass to 30 levels to dragon, and glass and dragon aren't that far apart. Now the moons, you need refined moonstone and refined malachite for glass. That's not too hard to find. At later levels you will find that pretty easy. And to say how far apart they are armor rating wise, it's not worth spending them 30 levels. Use your perks on other things to develop your character a little bit more into what you want, and don't spend them on blacksmithing just for a few extra points on your armor rating. Of course, that's just my opinion. That's how I'll be going. It's up to you. I don't argue about it. All opinions are valid. So that's your choice. But I was asked, and that's my tip for you. So if you're light armor, stick at glass, get to 70, stick at glass. If you're heavy armor, push all the way to 100 and get your dragon playing. Okay guys, I think that's it. I've done everything I can do now and told you everything I can tell you. So I hope this has helped you. Please, feel free to click the like button. I'd like that if you will. Click it for me. Let me know that this has helped you, that the video's been done well and all that kind of thing. And I'll do more, of course, if it's helped. Also, please feel free to subscribe. Join the best subscribers on YouTube, as my subscribers are. So you all, for now, take really good care of yourselves, and goodbye, my friends.